8 candidates and counting, one party presidential slot available. That is the story of the race to replace President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo in the new patriotic party. For 2 weeks, the party headquarters in the heart of Accra has been turned into a show base for supporters. Some say rented crowds, and 8 hopefuls and the entourages. That is in itself a show of force. The candidates can be grouped into 2 unscientific groups, the hugely popular ones and the not so popular, based simply on their crowds. The self-proclaimed Mr. Digitalization, who used to be hailed as economic wizard Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, is considered one of the favorites, and he pulled up at the party headquarters in a manner befitting of that tag.
I want to make Ghana the digital hub of Africa, and that is why I am offering myself to contest in the primaries of this phenomenal party, and inshallah, the President of the Republic of Ghana.
Long before that, the man considered his closest challenger, the former Trade Minister Alan Tremanting, found his nomination with some heavyweight members of Parliament. But the most interesting, perhaps, was Kennedy Japan, considered by many to be the dark horse in the race. The research group Global Info Analytics says the data points one of these 3 becoming the NPP's presidential candidate for the 2024 elections. The other 5 in the race would disagree, of course. They include former Agric Minister Dr. Osefri Akoto, who claims he managed the agric sector so well, he deserves to be president.
The same way I was able to bring agriculture to the front line of policy discussion, it will be the same way that agriculture will be used to take us out of the clutches of the island.
Then there's former Energy Minister Boakye Jakun, who thinks with a level playing field, this is a race he will win.
So long as the rules are clear, so long as there is total fairness, so long as we are all tempered and measured in our statements, I believe that we will have a very peaceful competition.
The former presidential spokesman says his heart is troubled by the direction the country is traveling, and he's adamant excitable slogans will lead us anywhere in a dig at the current government. Energy expert Kojo Poku is unlikely to figure much in the race, but he wants this to be about ideas and not personalities.
It is not about the personality, but ideas. I entreat all my colleagues in this process to make this election about a contest of ideas, a contest to change our party, a contest to change our nation.
There are those also convinced that this should be about place of origin more than anything else.
This time, it's supposed to be an ordinary. The accounts should agree with us and ensure, for unity purpose, to make sure Dr. Bawumia is elected.
There will be many who will disagree. So what factors influence a decision on who becomes the NPP presidential candidate?
The first one I would say will be the person's love for the party, demonstrated years before today, not this last minute after picking form, overnight you are becoming the lover of the party, blah, blah. What has been your track record in respect of connection with the grassroots? I've also been hearing the issue of ethnicity, whether this one is of a minority ethnic group or the other is of a majority ethnic group. Sincerely speaking, modern day politics does not encourage or promote any form of sectionalism.
First, though, with 8 candidates having filed their nomination, the party will have to undergo a process they have never been through.
More than 5 aspirants are going to emerge, and per their own constitution, the number of aspirants exceeds 5. We are likely to go for a super delegates conference or congress to trim down the number. I also use the likely advisedly because it's still early days yet. Maybe after vetting, some may decide to pull off the competition, and by that, the number may be trimmed down naturally.
The NPP instituted the Super Delegates Congress after what some called the comical race to replace President Kufuor in 2007 when 17 candidates were on the ballot paper. Well, whoever gets into the top 5, one thing is certain. There'll be many twists and turns, many shades and turbulent times in store for the NPP as some of its most leading figures jostle for the most prized role ahead of the general elections.